Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube! Ciel here, but you can just call me Ciel. Today we're reacting to Bill Wurtz's History of Japan video. I did see this video once before, a very long time ago, but since I've mostly forgotten it, I thought it'd be fun to react to it again after almost 10 years. If you want more Ciel in your life, make sure to check out my stream on Twitch, linked below the like button. And now, time for the video. Alright, let's see what this video is about. Let me know what you think about the framing and the positioning of my model. I tried something new again this time, so let me know. Alright.
Japan is an island by the sea filled with volcanoes.
Yippee! We love Japan!
In the year negative a billion.
I feel like this video is like, I don't know if it predates that meme, but it makes me think of the place, you know, anywhere else, sad face, place, Japan, fucking soy jack meme every single time. I love it.
Been here. In the year negative 40,000, it was here, and you could walk to it, and some people walked to it. Then it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an island, and now there's lots of trees, because it's warmer. So now there's people on the island. They're basically sort of hanging out in between the mountains, eating nuts off trees, and using the latest technology, like stones and bowls. Nice. Ding dong, it's the outside world, and they have technology from the future, like really good metal and crazy rice farms. Now you can make a lot of rice really, really quickly. That means if you own the farm, you own a lot of food, which is something everybody needs to survive.
What's your favorite, like, carb? Because for me, it is rice, actually, which is shocking. I know for a Frenchman, you'd think it's bread. But no, I actually really like, really like rice. Do you like potatoes? Do you like bread? Do you like rice? Which one's your favorite?
So that makes you king. Rice farming and rice kingdoms spread across the land, all the way to here. The most important kingdoms were here. That's
a lot of kingdoms.
But this one was the most important.
That's the only one I know the name of.
Heavenly super person, or emperor for short. Knock knock, get the door. It's religion. The new prince wants everyone to try this hot new religion.
I'm sure that's how religion started.
Please try this religion, he said. No, said everybody. Try it.
I'm surprised.
No, said everybody again, quieter this time.
No.
And so the religion was put into place, and all the rules that came with it. Then
Who cares? Who cares what the people say? Just established a religion anyways. Fuck it, dude.
Was taken over by another clique. And they made some reforms, like making the government govern more, and making the government more like China's government, which is a government that governs more. Hi, China, they said. Hi, dipshit, said China. Can you call us something else other than dipshit, said Japan. Like what, said China. How about Sunrise Land?
Okay, that goes hard, can't lie. Honestly, I actually did not know that Nihon or Nippon in I guess, would it have been Chinese? Japanese? Maybe both? Means land of the rising sun. I actually know we call it that, but I always just thought it was like, you know, an honorific title that is given to it of the virtue of being like one of the bigger countries that is the furthest east.
And they stole China's alphabet and wrote a book about themselves. True. And then they made lots of poetry and art and another book about themselves. Then they stopped moving the capital every time the emperor died and kept it in one place for a while, right here. And they conquered the north finally. Get that squared away. A rich hipster named Kukai is bored with modern Buddhism, visits China, and learns a better version, which is more spiritual. Comes back, reinvents the alphabet, and causes art and literature to be for a long time.
Wait, that's where the kanas came from? Because yes, as a proper weeb, I once started studying Japanese, and I learned my hiragana and katakana. I did not know it came from, like, I didn't know it came that late, I guess, in Japanese history. Because we're already in the year, like, almost 800, right? I thought it was older than that. I had no idea.
The royal palace turned into such a dream world of art that they really didn't give a shit about running the country. So if you live outside the palace, how are you supposed to protect your shit from criminals? Hire a samurai. Everyone started hiring samurai. Rich, important people hired samurai. Poor people who could not afford to hire samurai did not hire samurai. And the samurai became organized and powerful, more powerful than the government. So they made their own military government. Here, they let the emperor still be emperor, but the shogun is actually in control. Yeah, I figured. Breaking news, the Mongols have invaded China.
We've invaded China, said the Mongols. Please respect us, or else we might invade you as well.
I'm pretty sure that they did, partly. At least that's the story of the game Ghost of Tsushima, right? I played that last year. It was really, really cool. Well, they invaded not Japan entirely, but the island of Tsushima, which is off the coast of Japan somewhere. I actually am not sure exactly where. But really cool game. If you haven't played it, very nice. Very cool representation, like very stylized representation of Japan. That's still like, it's kind of like an appreciation of like Japan as a you know, historical country, but also the Japanese like samurai movies that you'd see from like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years ago. They're really cool.
Okay, said Japan. So the Mongols came over, ready for war, and died in a tornado. But they tried again, and had a nice time fighting with the Japanese, but then died in a tornado.
Again?
And the emperor overthrows the shogunate. Then the shogunate overthrows him back.
There are tornadoes in Japan? I mean, I know there's tornadoes kind of everywhere, but like the place I think of when I think of tornadoes is America. I didn't know there were tornadoes in Japan. They already got earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes. They got tornadoes too? Damn. I'm sorry, guys.
Moves to Kyoto and makes a new shogunate. And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's more art. Like painting with less colors, collaborative poetry, plays, monkey fun, tea parties, gardening,
Monkey
architecture,
fun.
flowers. It's
My
time
favorite
for
kind of
who's
fun.
going to be the next shogun. Usually it's the shogun's kid, but the shogun doesn't have a kid. So he tries to get his brother to quit being a monk and be the next shogun.
Oh,
he says
shit.
okay, but then the shogun has a kid. So now who's it going to be?
Oh, no.
Vote now on your phones.
Oh,
And everyone
no.
voted so hard that the palace caught on fire and burned down.
Yeah.
The shogun actually didn't care. He was off somewhere doing poetry. And the whole country broke into pieces.
How is it that every single time there's a leader, they're just like, I'm done leading. I just want to do poetry, and just fucks off to the middle of nowhere and lets everyone else deal with the bullshit.
Fighting with each other for local power, and it's anybody's game. Knock knock, it's Europe. No, they're not here to take over. They just want to sell some shit, like clocks.
There was a very subtle subtitle there. Did you catch
Knock,
it?
it's Europe. No, they're not here to take over. They just
He didn't say it out loud, but you see that little that little parentheses? Yeah.
want to sell some shit, like clocks and guns. And
Yeah, of course we bought. I was gonna say, of course we brought guns, and then Jesus.
so that's cool, but everyone's still
Yep.
fighting each other for control. Now with guns. And
Oh,
wouldn't it
boy.
be nice to control the capital? Which right
We kind of made things worse, didn't we? Well, as we tended to do in general. You know.
now is puppets, with no one controlling them.
Oh God.
This clan is ready to make a run for it, but first they have to
Okay.
trample this smaller clan, which is in the way. Surprise, the smaller clan wins, and the leader of that clan steals the idea of
Oh.
invading the capital and invades the
That's
capital.
Oda Nobunaga. Okay, I do know that name as well. One of the very few names I know from Japanese history.
And it goes very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan
Yeah.
when someone who works for him kills him, and then
Aw.
someone else who works for him kills them, and that guy
Damn.
finishes conquering Japan. And then he confiscated everybody's swords and made some rules. And now I'm going to invade Korea and then hopefully China, he said, and failed, and also died.
Oh.
But before he died, he told
That was a little crazy. He's got to relax.
these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-old son until he's old enough to be the next ruler of Japan. And the 5 guys said, yeah, right. It's not going to be this kid. It's going to be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably going to be this guy, who happens to be way more
I figured every single time you try to pass power in a way that like is not going to create conflict between different people and not just one person, you end up creating conflict anyways.
powerful than the others. A lot of people support
Why
him.
the hell
A lot of
was
people
there?
support
What
Nazi-
the? What was that subliminal image for a second, man?
supporting him. They have a fight, and he wins and starts a new government right here. And
Hey, I
he
know
still
that
lets the
era.
emperor dress like an emperor and have very nice things. But don't get confused. This is the new government, and they are
Yeah.
very strict. So strict they
Oh.
closed the country. No one can leave, and no one can come in, except for the Dutch if they want to buy and sell shit. But
Yeah,
they have
I
to
knew about that. The Dutch are kind of chill with that time. That's also why there's like a Japanese. Well, yeah, a Japanese Dutch. Like, I don't know if I would call it city. Kind of. It's like a city that emulates the Netherlands, but in Japan because of their shared history with this.
Now that the
I don't know
entire
if it's over
country was
there.
not at war with
I have no
itself,
idea if
the
it's over there,
population increased a lot. Business
I know it
increased,
exists.
schools were built, roads were built, everyone learned to read, books were published, there was poetry, plays,
Seems like they were
sexy
doing pretty
times,
good.
puppet shows, and Dutch studies. People started to study European science from books they bought from the Dutch. We're talking
That's pretty cool.
geography, skeletons, physics, chemistry, astronomy, and maybe even electricity. Over time, the economic and cultural prosperity began to gradually slow down. Knock knock. It's the United States.
That is the best way to introduce the U.S. to this video.
Huge boats with guns.
They did have big
Gunboats.
boats
Open
and big
the
guns.
country. Stop having it be closed, said the United States.
I'm sure that's exactly how they phrased it. You know what? I deadass would not be surprised. I know it probably wasn't how, but like I feel like that's how Donald Trump would say that today.
Really nothing they could do, so they signed a contract that lets the
Yep.
United States, Britain, and Russia visit Japan anytime they want. Choshu and Satsuma hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks. And with almost very little outside help, they overthrew the shogunate and somehow made the emperor again and moved him to Edo, which they renamed Eastern Capital. They
And
made a
then
new
that's
government,
how we got
which was a
Tokyo.
lot more Western. They made a new constitution that was pretty Western, and a military that was pretty Western.
That's interesting. I actually did not follow that part of history. Does that mean that it's kind of our fault that they turned into like again, you know, imperial conquerors of crazy like levels? Because like I mean, if they got inspired by anybody, it would be You know.
What else is Western? That's right, it's conquering
Yeah.
stuff. So what can we conquer? Korea.
Yeah.
They conquer Korea, taking it from its previous owner, China, and then go a little bit further. And Russia rushes in out of nowhere and says,
Stop, no, you can't take that. We were going to build a railroad through here to try to get some warm water.
and Russia builds their
Dude, they've been trying to do that for a while, huh?
railroad, supervised by a shit ton of soldiers. And then when the railroad was done, they downgraded to a fuck ton. Did I say downgrade? I meant upgrade. And Japan says, can you maybe chill? And Russia says, how about maybe you chill? Japan is kind of scared of Russia. You'll never guess who's also kind of scared of Russia. Great Britain. So Japan and Great Britain make an alliance together so they can be a little less scared of Russia.
Shocking alliance. I mean, in about 30, 40 something years, you know, that's going to be a little different.
Feeling confident, Japan goes to war against Russia, just for a moment, and then they both get tired and
It
stop.
really goes to show that, like, the enemy of my enemy is my ally, or something like that saying it was born somewhere, you know? It's kind of interesting.
And then they both get tired and stop.
It's time for World War I.
Oh boy.
The world is about to have a war, because it's the 1900s and weapons are getting crazy, and all these empires are excited to try them out on each other. Meanwhile, Japan has
I don't
been
know if
enjoying
that's
conquering stuff and wants more. And the next
how
thing
I
on
would
their
put
list
it.
is this part of China and lots of tiny islands. All that stuff belongs to Germany, which just had war declared on it by Britain because Britain was friends with Belgium, which was being trespassed by Germany in order to get to France to kick France's ass because France is friends with Russia, who was getting ready to kick Austria's ass because Austria was getting ready to kick Serbia's ass because someone from Serbia shot the leader of Austria's ass. Or actually shot him in the head.
That's actually a shockingly quick and good description of why World War I started.
And Britain is currently friends with Japan, so you know what that means. Duh, Japan should take the islands. Which they wanted to do anyway, so they called Britain on the telly to sort of let them...
And it's fucked up to laugh at this, but the way he makes it so musical makes it sound so chill when really it's fucked up.
know. And then they did it. And they also helped Britain a little here and there with some errands and stuff. Now the war's over, and congratulations, Japan. You technically fought in the war, which means you get to sit at the negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decided who owns what.
Awesome.
And yes, Japan gets to keep all that shit they stole from Germany. You also get to join the post-war mega alliance, the League of Nations, whose mission statement is to try not to take over the world.
And
The Great
then
Depression is bad,
shit
and
hits
Japan's
the
economy
fan.
is now crappy, but the military is doing just fine, and it invades Manchuria. In the League of Nations, it's like, no, don't do that. If you're in the League of Nations, you're not supposed to take over the world.
You can't
And
do
Japan
that.
said,
How about I do anyway?
and Japan invaded more
Yup.
and more and more and more of China, and
Oh
was
my
planning to
God.
invade the entire East.
You've got mail.
It's from Germany, the new leader of Germany. He has a cool
boy.
mustache, and he's trying to take over the world and needs friends. This also got forwarded to Italy. They all decided to be friends because they had so much in common.
It's time for World War II.
Yup.
Germany is invading the neighbors. Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors' neighbors, who happened to be Britain, said, holy shit. And the United States started helping Britain because they are
Good friends,
and started not helping Japan because they're friends.
friends, and our friends.
Kind of ironic that, like, I mean, I know it's 200 years, but it's kind of ironic that the U.S. and the British are friends at this point. Like, a few hundred years ago, they weren't really very friends. That's all I'm saying.
Started helping Britain because they are
Good friends,
and started not helping Japan because they're
friends, and our friends are not friends. Plus, they're planning on invading the entire ocean.
The United
Yeah.
States is also working on a large, very huge bomb, bigger
boy.
than any other bomb ever. Just
I've seen the movie on that. It's something called, like, what was the name again? Oppenheimer? Something like that, I think.
in case. But they still haven't joined the war. War looks bad on TV, and the United States is really starting to care about their image. But then Japan spits on them in Hawaii and challenges them to war. And they say yes. And then Germany,
That
as a symbol of
probably
friendship,
is one of the greatest fumbles in, like, war history, was threatening the United States in this context. Because, like, yeah, that was a bad idea. That turned out not so great.
war on the United States also. So the United States goes to war in Europe, and they help the gang chase Germany back into Germany. And they also start chasing Japan back into Japan. And they haven't used the bomb yet, and are curious to see if it works.
Oh,
so
boy.
they drop it on Japan. They actually dropped 2.
Well, that happened.
The United States installed a new government, inspired by the United States government, with just the right ingredients for a
Post-war
Interesting how they've done that twice now.
economic miracle.
That is
And
true.
Japan starts making TVs, VCRs, automobiles, and camcorders as fast as they can,
Absolutely
and also
goated,
better
by
than
the way.
everybody else. They get rich, and the economy goes wild, and then the miracle wears off. But everything's still pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, at least it's still pretty cool, I guess. It could have been worse. I think that was a cool video. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you on the other side. That was Bill Wurtz's History of Japan. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it again with me. This was pretty fun to re-experience, and I'm definitely going to react to his other video on the history of the entire world as well pretty soon. If you did enjoy it, it'd mean a lot if you gave this video a like, comment what you'd like me to react to next, and subscribe to not miss out on any future uploads. If you're new here, make sure to drop by my streams as well on Twitch, link down below, for more reactions, gaming, yapping with me, and the occasional singing. I'd also like to thank my patrons for supporting this content, so thank you to Bad Guy Yex and Lily Chaton. That's all I have for today, but you know me, it's never goodbye. No, it's always see you later.